Hello everyone, my name is Landon and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going over the top 5 Stephen King movies that I think deserve a remake. So these are going to be movies that don't have remakes already planned. So the Tommyknockers isn't on there, and movies like Pet Sematary aren't on there because they are having remakes made even though they haven't been released yet. These are movies that don't have planned remakes made yet, but have original movies that were either god-awful or just deserve a fresh coat of paint. So, let's get off to the number 5 spot with Bag of Bones. If you guys have seen the 2002, 2003, I'm not sure when it came on TV, but the 2000 whatever TV series of A Bag of Bones, it was awful. This TV series, based on the Stephen King novel, was terrible. It hardly followed any of the book, the characters were dull, the direction was horrible. Everything about the TV series for Bag of Bones was terrible, and this one is one of his most underrated books, and if it ever gets a movie, it needs to be made into a nice 2-hour-long thriller horror mystery. Because this book has so much potential to be a great movie, they just said F you and made it into a TV series that was just god-awful. So Bag of Bones, one of his most underrated novels, definitely deserves a remake. At the number 4 spot, I think this is the most recent movie that was made, Cell. This movie came out in 2016, and once again, if you have seen it, you'll know that this movie was terrible. The special effects were terrible. It was almost like the entire movie was shot in front of a green screen. The acting wasn't great at all, even though John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson were in it. The ending didn't even match the ending of the book, even though the ending of the book was a little iffy. The ending of the movie didn't even follow it. So, if this movie can get a bigger budget, and it could be a really good zombie movie. It could be one of the best zombie movies ever, in my opinion. Even though this book isn't necessarily amazing, it's still a good book that could potentially be a really good zombie flick. They just need to follow more closely, have a higher budget, and they would make a pretty damn good movie. Coming in at the number 3 spot, we have The Dark Half. This is probably the best movie out of these 5. George A. Romero did a decent job with The Dark Half, but it definitely didn't come close to near how good the novel was. This movie, I think, came out in 1993, and I'm pretty sure it sits at a 50-something on Rotten Tomatoes, which isn't horrible, but it's not great for a Stephen King adaptation. So, if this movie could get, like I said, if it could get a higher budget and modern-day effects, not 1993 effects, if it can get modern-day effects, this could be a really good movie. This book is probably another one of his most underrated, but I feel that if it had modern-day effects, this movie could be really good. At the number 2 spot, we have Needful Things. My 4th favorite Stephen King novel, and I'm actually rereading it right now. Click the link in the description to get to my Goodreads page where I'm rereading a bunch of long Stephen King books. Needful Things is, if it wasn't for the number 1 spot, would be the worst movie on this list. Needful Things' adaptation was terrible. It also came out around in 1993, around there, and I just feel like the effects were dumb, the ending didn't follow the ending of the book. The characters were nowhere near as likable or hateable as they were in the book. Leyland Gaunt wasn't near as creepy. The store that's in Needful Things is, next to, 2 other stores, and it's, downtown. But in Needful Things, the movie, it looks like a house. It looks like somebody's house with, just a bunch of random artifacts inside. It just looks really stupid, and I mean, it just didn't match up to what the book had to offer, which is incredible. The book is absolutely amazing, and it really just needs a fresh coat of paint on that movie, because that movie was not good at all. I'm not putting this in here because I'm rereading it, so I'll put it there. And at the number 1 spot, if you guys have been following my channel for a while, you know, it's Dreamcatcher. It's gotta be Dreamcatcher. This movie really needs a remake to brush over what horrendous movie that was in 2003. I do have a few good things to say about the movie. It's fun to watch, for one, because it's so freaking ridiculous. And the acting was great. I love Thomas Jane. He's my favorite actor of all time. Timothy Olyphant's great. Jason Lee's hilarious. And Damian Lewis did great as Jonesy. But, like, everything up until Henry burns down... what's it called? Hole in the Wall. After Henry burns down Hole in the Wall, the movie just goes AWOL. Doesn't follow the book whatsoever. And it's just insane. I loved the first hour of this movie. I was like, oh my god, this is exactly like the book. I love it. It's amazing. And then the last hour came, and I was like, are you even reading the same book anymore? Like, nobody... Let's talk about a few things that happened in the movie that didn't happen in the book. Nobody tried to escape the base that Kurtz was running. In the book, everybody tried to escape, and Thomas Jane played Henry, tried to get them all out using telepathy, but in the book, he just walks up to Owen Underhill, not even using telepathy. He just walks up to him, he's like, hey, I know what you're doing, and you better stop that, and you better help me instead of Kurtz. And that's really what happens there, and instead of Duddits sending Henry into Jonesy's mind to fight Mr. Grey, Henry tries to shoot Mr. Grey with a machine gun that Owen was carrying, and when it fails, Duddits comes in and turns into an alien. Yeah, Duddits isn't an alien. He's not. He is just a man with unknown telepathy powers. So you're making him into an alien that didn't even happen in the book. They did everything that didn't happen in the book happen in the movie. It's just... I get so mad over the movie because they didn't follow everything that happens after Henry burns down Hole in the Wall. It's just... I don't know. I mean, this movie really needs a remake, and fast, because I feel like... I didn't even care if they got the same actors, except Morgan Freeman. They get somebody else besides Morgan Freeman. I don't feel like he fit the parts of Kurtz at all. But if they got Thomas Jane, if they got Damian Lewis, Timothy Olyphant, and Jason Lee as the four guys again, I would be fine with that, because I love all four of those guys. But Colonel Kurtz, I didn't like. Morgan Freeman has fake eyebrows. The ending was atrocious. Mr. Grey didn't, like, talk to Jonesy as much as he should have, like he does in the book. He doesn't, like, get lost in Derry. He just takes a straight shot to the Quabbin Reservoir. He knows exactly where it is. Instead of in the book, he gets lost in Derry and has to ask people and kill other people. This movie just needs to be remade. This is one of my favorite Stephen King novels of all time, and I was so disappointed with what happened with the 2003 film. So, Hollywood, if you're listening, heed this call, because I really want this movie to be remade, even though it probably never will be. But that's my list, so I'm going to put that down there. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell icon if you're new. Leave your top 5 movies that should be remade that haven't been announced yet, because some of the remakes have been announced even though they haven't been made. But, like, movies that haven't gotten announced yet that are remakes of olds, leave a comment down below what your 5 favorite are. And I'll see you guys in the next one.